Hey, just got paid, let's go! Got a whole bunch of things left to pay this month. Please have enough. If you can relate to this, it doesn't necessarily mean that you're irresponsible or bad with money. Now it might, but it might not. One of the main reasons why I decided to take my money situation serious was because of the frustration of having a certain amount of money in my bank account and being aware, like, okay, I got this much amount of money, like, I'm gonna make it last. Signing back into my bank and it is down to the floor. And I'm like always convinced that nope, there has to have been a mistake because there's no way I spent that much money. Going into the bank account, going line by line, and lo and behold, it's me. It's always been me. So because of this made me come to this grand realization that we tend to forget what we buy, like, completely. We'll buy a coffee, we'll go for lunch, we'll buy something on Amazon and like keep it pushing. When I was back in my home country a while ago, there was an issue with the roof and it was leaking water. Every single time it would rain, it would leak right through the bedroom and it was so annoying. And it would just look like it's just dripping a little bit, like little drops, right? So of course we would put like a bucket under there and we'd be like, okay, it's going to take a good while to fill up. So we're just going to not worry about it, go, come back, and it'll be good. Once we come back, it's like almost full. And we're like, how did that happen with just like a little tiny drop happening like that? Thing is that even if it's little, consistent over time, it adds up. Those little expenses, as we're buying it in the moment, it might not seem like so much, like what, $3 for a drink, $10 for a meal. That's just that, right? But add that with another $5, another $10, another $15. And what you're seeing is the result of all those little things stacking up. And that is why it's always so shocking to see our balance after however many days, weeks, whatever it may be. So that is why no matter how much I try to be on top of my money and be like, all right, I'm gonna do better this time, I was always felt like I wasn't in control and I was constantly getting so frustrated. Like I just couldn't understand. What I started to do was I started to write each purchase down on a little piece of an index card because I write really small. It got really messy really quickly. It was just hard to keep up with everything, especially when I'm out and about getting home. I just wouldn't remember and I didn't feel like logging into my bank account every day. Like it just wasn't practical. And after a lot, and I mean a lot of experimentation, I finally found one of the easiest ways to stay on top of all these expenses, all of the expenditures throughout the month, throughout the weeks, right? I'm gonna get to it in just a moment. And I feel like a lot of people have tried this method, but maybe they don't stick to it. And it's because they haven't done this one thing that I'm about to tell you. It is so important. So before trying to stay on top of all of your expenses in a non-stressful way, one of the most important things that you have to do is to divide out your money. It is so easy after getting paid, seeing that big looking number in your bank balance to think like, oh, okay, like I'm gonna be good for a while, right? But the thing is that a lot of that money is already accounted for. A lot of it either is accounted for through expenses, like monthly expenses, or like groceries, or like other adult responsible things that we got to take care of. But we might not think about it when we see that number. You gotta divide it out. What I'm explaining is a budget. What it is giving each dollar a job before it gets spent, okay? I do not do tons of categories. I just like to deal with 4 main categories. So the first category is monthly bills, and you're gonna include monthly debt payments as well. So the second category, I like to call it essentials. So here you're gonna have groceries, and this includes not only groceries, but also like household cleaners, also like paper towels, personal hygiene products like toothpaste, toothbrushes, things that you have to buy every so often. Now, if you were to buy like a pillow or like a rug, which you can buy at Walmart, I wouldn't put it in this section because you're not going to buy that regularly like you would like paper towels, right? That's going to go in another section. So groceries / hygiene products, also transportation. I'm not talking about oil changes, things that happen sporadically. I'm talking about gasoline, or if you take public transit, money that goes toward that regularly would go in this section as well. Third category is for lifestyle. So here you're going to include going out to eat, activities, if you have to buy clothes, things like that. Also, this is where I like to have miscellaneous things, okay? So for example, if you need an oil change, or if you need to buy that pillow or like a rug, this is a category where it will be taken out of. I feel like this really helps uncomplicate things, okay? We don't need a gajillion categories. So the last bucket is for savings and investing. So that's pretty much it. Like I feel like this is as simple as humanly possible as I've been able to, cut it down to. But for real, I've been using just these 4 main buckets for years now, and it just works so good, y'all. All right, so in order to stay on top of all of our expenses and never be shocked again, this is exactly where we got to start. All right, so this is my spending plan template. It is stupidly simple. So here's part 1, income. Let's just say for simplicity's sake, we make $5,000 a month, and you can see the total here. All right, so that's it for part 1, very simple. If you have more income, just add it there. Part 2 is all about the expenses. So just 4 simple categories, y'all. So bills, essentials, lifestyle, and savings. So here we're just gonna fill out all of our monthly bills and monthly debt payments. A little pro tip: as you go through your bank statements and find all your bills and due dates, you definitely want to put them in order, your bills, due dates, and the amount. So I'm going to go ahead and fill that out right now. All right, boom, all done. Here's some example numbers. So as you can see, the total here is $2,969. All right, so moving right along, we always go from the left to the right. Next column is essentials, and it's grocery and gas. If you look right here, right, there's this little number. So this is the amount of money that you have left out of this $5,000. So we've used almost $3,000. We have a little bit over $2,000 left to spend out of this money. So with that in mind, you can write down approximately how much you spend each month on groceries and gas. You can also divide it out, so you can do groceries and gas on separate lines, but I like to do it together just for simplicity's sake. So I'm gonna write 700 here. All right, moving along to the next column, which is lifestyle, and we can see here how much we have left: $1,331 left to play with. So for lifestyle, the most popular subcategories under this main category is usually eating out, activities, and unexpected. If you have other things, feel free to add it, but don't go crazy on the categories because it does get kind of overwhelming. I'll just say that. I'm just gonna go ahead and add these numbers here, 400. Please, please, please always make sure to have an unexpected category. It is so important because we all know life happens, whether it is an unexpected speeding ticket or an oil change or something like that. A pro tip is instead of taking out like anything car related, like oil change, inspection, emissions, registration, anything like that, instead of taking it out of the lifestyle column, out of your monthly income, if you have a dedicated like savings bucket, you can put a little bit a month toward that savings bucket and just pull out of that whenever you need it. It is awesome. And I actually have a video going a lot more into depth about it. I'll leave it down in the description so you can see that after you watch this one if you'd like. So that's it for lifestyle. Okay, we see the total is $750 just for this, right? Now let's move on to the last and final column. Moving to the right is saving. How much do we have left? Right here, $581 left to save/invest. You can divide it out however you want. Just for this, we're going to do 400 and 181. And we want this to be the same as this up top, meaning that we used up all the money. Another place that you can look at it is up top here. This auto populates, so you want this and this to be equal. You want every single dollar to be accounted for. Like let's say I don't allocate this last 181, it's going to come up short, right? So this means that you still have some money that you need to give a job to. So we're going to go ahead and add it here, 181, boom, okay? And if you go over by $1, you can see that you give a job to money that you don't have, all right? So this has to be the same. All right, cool. So this is so important to do first things first. Now you can actually take control of all your expenses. Basically all it is just tracking your expenses, okay? But you cannot track your expenses without dividing up your money. So when I first work with clients, I love starting out with a spreadsheet because it's just a nice visual. But obviously you're not gonna be, walking around with a spreadsheet in your pocket. So that's why I like to take the same numbers and just transfer it to an app. So let's say you go out to eat, right? Literally just take the receipt, which you do want paper receipts, okay? That's actually really, really helpful when it comes to tracking expenses. And just go to the lifestyle category. Let's say you have $200 left in that category. You just tap it, deduct whatever, 20 bucks for lunch. Now you see your updated balance without actually having to log into your bank each and every time. Now for another example, let's say that it's family day and the kids want to go to like Top Golf or something like that. You can go into your app and let's say you only have $100 left for lifestyle. Instead of going to Top Golf, right, because you see the big looking number in your bank, you can look at the app and see the specific category and be like, oh, I only have $100 left allocated to this. Let's go take a nice picnic in downtown, or let's go on eventbrite.com or meetup.com and see like what free festivities are going on around town. That consciousness, it just helps so much and it changes the game. If you no longer want to be like shocked and dismayed by your balance at your bank, this is exactly what you need to do. It's changed my life and I really hope it changes yours if you decide to do this. If you want the money template, make sure to just click the link in the bio and I'll send it to you for free. Thank you guys so much for watching this video and I'll see you next time. God bless.